West Ham have been linked with the 10th, 24th and 30th most expensive player of all time. Another one of West Ham's longest running transfer sagas has reared its head once more. We're not talking Jesse Lingard. We will be talking about him though and giving his latest on all of that situation, as well as Mohammed. Kudus and West Ham have officially signed their third senior signing of the summer, while also letting someone go from the squad. And let's start there, because this is the West Ham Transfer Rumours Show, where we give you all of the rumours, we tell you where they're from, we give you our opinion on whether we think they're legitimate or not, and then let you decide in the comment section below. But we do have some important official business to get out of the way first. Flynn Downes has officially left West Ham on loan to Southampton for the year. He's gone back down to the Championship, of course, where he flourished before joining us. And more importantly, to some extent, he is rejoining Russell Martin, who is the manager, who was the manager at least at Swansea and is now the manager at Southampton, someone who he obviously flourished under. Hopefully that means he can reinvigorate his career. He's stalled for a year here at West Ham. Potentially we see him back in the claret and blue next season. But for this season, he will be playing in the red and white of Southampton. Flynn, good luck, sir. I hope you absolutely nail it. As do I hope Konstantinos Mavropanos. Thankfully, he says that he goes by Ninios to most people as his nickname. He has joined West Ham officially this afternoon. West Ham have completed the signing of Mavropanos on a permanent deal from VfB Stuttgart. The 25-year-old signs a 5-year deal with the club. Now, I've spoke about this on a previous video. I'm really high on this one. I think the age profile is correct. I like the way he plays. I don't know quite how that fits in the David Moyes system, but he is very big. He's very big, which would imagine he's pretty good in the air as well, which will suit David Moyes and will suit something else I'm going to talk about in a little while. He joins on a 5-year deal. I think this is good. I wanted someone who was about his age, who can join on a longer term contract, someone who isn't going to be demanding first team football instantaneously, someone who isn't going to be demanding a starting position, I should say instantaneously, because I like Kurt Zouma, I like Aged. I think that partnership's got a lot of legs. The problem is those legs are a bit dodgy. So for me, I wanted someone who would be happy to sort of be second choice, but fight for those first team positions. And then when he needs to, comes in and does the job. This is what exactly Mavropanos brings. I'm really happy with this one. It was rumoured that it was 20 million euros plus 5 million of add-ons. It's a good price as well for someone that age. I'm very, very happy with that. I'm very, very happy with that. Welcome, Dinios. I'm happy to see you here, sir. I'm very excited to see you play. Let's move on to Jesse Lingard, shall we? We're trying to get all of these ones sort of quickly out of the way. Jesse Lingard, ex-West Ham employee, has given us an update there saying, quote, Jesse Lingard has rejected offers from other clubs where he would have earned more money as he wants to come back to West Ham. He has also reduced his activity on social media to show how determined he is to rejoin the club. I spoke a little bit about this on a previous video, so I won't touch too much on it. We'll move straight past it. One thing I will say is I wonder now, and I want your opinion on this, now it seems Paquetá is definitely going to be staying at West Ham this summer due to the ongoing betting stuff that's happening in the background, the investigation and all that. Do you think that makes Jesse Lingard more likely? Because if Paquetá was leaving, we would have probably had to have gone on and spent big on a guy who can come in and play the number 10, can command that position, can be the exciting player there. Now he's staying. Is it more likely that we're going to go for someone like Jesse who can be a squad role, can play sort of several different positions, isn't going to command a huge fee? You know, Jesse's coming in on a free. His wages will probably be lower given the fact that, you know, everything has happened. Do you think that makes this more likely? I think it might. One of the people I thought was incredibly likely until the Paquetá deal was basically definitely off was Mohammed Kudus. All of the latest going on there. We'll start with Darmesh, who tweeted out earlier today, West Ham have had a second bid for Mohammed Kudus rejected. Club deciding whether to go back in with another bid. Kudus open to the move. X added on to that, ex-West Ham employee, saying there has been some issues in agreeing terms with Kudus' agent. Talks will continue. Fabrizio Romano then added to that all three top tier sources. You've almost got the full house. You want to add in maybe Jacob Steinberg and then you've got the full collection there potentially. Fabrizio saying West Ham have submitted new formal bid for Mohammed Kudus in the last 24 hours worth 42 million euro package. Ajax have rejected the proposal. No intention to accept at these conditions. West Ham now deciding if they want to leave the table. West Ham's second bid for Kudus was higher than Brighton's bid sent at the beginning of the month that Ajax agreed with. Position changed now. It is not enough to sell Kudus. This is an agent's thing. right? I'm pretty certain that if the agent was being easy to work with, I mean, from what it says, that we've spoken about agents here, X has definitely mentioned it, right? But if the agent was easy to work with, I would have suspect that this deal would be done. But equally, if the agent was easy to work with, I would have suspect this deal probably would have been done with Brighton previously before us. They left the table reportedly because of agents being difficult and making it hard and being a difficult negotiation. It seems like we're running into something very similar here. If that wasn't a problem, X has reported previously that the difference is maybe 3 to 5 million in valuations between us and what Ajax are asking for. That seems workable if that also wasn't added on top of it. But if the agent is asking for is asking for something big, if the contract is difficult because of that, then realistically, I can see this one stalling a little bit. And now Paquetá isn't leaving, the level of importance for a player like this diminishes somewhat. Because we've been linked with him as a striker, but that's certainly not his primary thing. And although he has a lot of the attributes you would suspect David Moyes would like in a striker, I was speaking to Jack Elderton of Analytics United about this earlier on this evening, he's not exactly a big guy. So him playing up front by himself in a David Moyes system seems a bit mad. I would have loved him to come in that number 10 role. Maybe you play him out wider, you put Byrne up front. There's all these things, but now you're talking about buying someone to put other people in positions they're not great in. It becomes a bit awkward for me and maybe something that doesn't become as big a priority as it would have been had Paquetá left. But I don't know, how do you feel about Mohammed Kudus? I would still love to see him at West Ham. It's just I don't know what form that takes. What form something takes, which is about as clear as day. And this is where the hype thing comes in previously, and one of the longest running transfer sagas we had for a while there. Youssef En-Nesyri is back in the news, ladies and gentlemen. En-Nesyri, I don't actually know which one's correct. I tried to look it up. I heard commentators literally say it both ways. So Youssef En-Nesyri is the one I'm going to go with. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. Darmesh tweeting out earlier today, West Ham have opened talks with Sevilla over the possibility of signing Youssef En-Nesyri or En-Nesyri. No formal bid yet. We are doing it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been making jokes for the past couple of weeks, maybe month now, about wanting to build a Space Jam team. And by that, I mean the baddies from Space Jam. Giant aliens, 10 foot tall, and then one little dribbly guy in the middle who's really skillful. This is seeming more and more likely. En-Nesyri is huge. If you didn't see, he scored against Manchester City in the Super Cup final, the European Super Cup. I can't remember exactly what it's called. The thing where the Champions League winners meet the Europa League winners. Man City versus Sevilla. He scored, and it was, of course, a header because he's big and he scores lots of headers. He isn't quite what he once was. When we were originally linked with him, he had a monstrous season, scored 20 plus goals or something like that, was huge, just absolutely massive. He's quick, he's powerful. He used to play as a winger, so he sort of has that to his game. On top of it, he's very big and he can head the ball. So you feel like it's sort of everything David Moyes would ever want in a striker to some extent. He fell off a little bit, had some serious injuries, had a really bad season the season before last. Last season came back into form a little bit, got 18 goals, was one of the top goal scorers in the Europa League. Obviously, they end up winning the whole thing and we're being linked with him once more. Depending on price, I would be heavily for this. Because part of me is just obsessed with this Space Jam idea. We've got Mavropanos, who's almost 2 meters tall. We get En-Nesyri, who's an absolute monster. We've got, Zuma, Aged, Alvarez is massive. And then we just get James Ward-Prowse whipping those balls in. It took James Ward-Prowse 7 minutes to assist from a corner. Let's get some more massive men on, What do we need? A left winger? Mandzukic. Get him out of retirement. He's assistant manager at Croatia now. We could get him in as assistant manager and then maybe as like a coach thing to teach the headers or something. I don't know. I love this idea of just going full blown. Look, I think David Moyes is leaving at the end of next summer, regardless of what happens. Let's go out with a big bang. Just massive blokes doing massive things. And I think if you're looking at a guy, he's still not relatively old actually, and despite the fact that we were linked with him such a long time ago now, a couple of years ago, he's still not that old, 26, something like that. It's not a bad shout if the pricing is correct, and that's the big thing here. He won't command the huge fees he used to, but he still would command probably quite a lot. If you could get him on a relatively good deal, I certainly would not be against that. Lessen the impact that we have on Antonio. We don't have to put him under so much pressure. Maybe then we can loan out Mubama to potentially even a Premier League side, but definitely a top championship side. Really get him the game time he needs, because right now Mubama is not going to get any of that. I would be for this. I would be for us getting a striker, but it has to be the right guy. And it has to, for En-Nesyri specifically, it has to be the right price. Someone else we have been linked with is Hugo Ekitike. He is back being linked to us once more. This one coming from L'Equipe. West Ham and PSG are currently in direct contact with each other to try and find a solution for Hugo Ekitike. The Hammers are set to offer a loan deal with an option to buy worth 35 million. We'll see if anyone super reliable ends up saying on this. That's not to shoot shots at L'Equipe. I just don't know how super reliable they are. It's clear he's going to leave PSG. That move has not worked out for him. We were linked with him. He ended up going to PSG. That move's definitely not worked. He's going to leave. He's still young. He's only 21. France under 20 international. Scored goals before. Had one really good season. Hasn't had any really others. I wouldn't be against it on loan with a view to buy, because realistically, as long as it's a view to buy, option to buy, as opposed to like a certain one, as long as it's not one of those, 35 mil, then he has to be worth 35 million for us to go and buy him. And next summer we'll have some more money than we do now. It allows us to put those funds towards something else we might need, like a left winger or a left back or whatever it might be. I would be for this, depending, like I say, on that loan to buy offer, as long as it is an option to buy it as opposed to an obligation to buy it. And then finally, the last one, and I leave this till last, one, because it's hilarious, and two, because I don't know this source at all. But it did the rounds earlier, and I thought I should talk about it given the state of the affairs today. Everything else has been from reliable sources, like L'Equipe, I'm not entirely certain about, but Dharmesh, Fabrizio, X, the official club website. That's where we've linked all of these others. They're reliable sources. That's probably what's happening. This one, I don't necessarily believe, but we'll talk about it anyway. Transfers, football transfers, footballtransfers.com. Never heard of them personally, but they wrote, quote, West Ham are in talks with Romelu Lukaku after being given encouragement by the player's representatives, while Football Transfers has learnt that the Hammers are in pole position to sign the striker despite interest from the Saudi Pro League. The striker has proposals on the tables from clubs in Saudi Arabia, while we understand Tottenham are also keen on bringing in Lukaku on loan, as revealed previously. Yeah, I'm going to go no on that one. I can't see that being accurate. This is the West Ham Transfer Rumour Show for a reason. We bring you the rumours. This is the rumour. We give you our opinion. I think it's nonsense. And then we let you decide. Do you think this one's accurate? I can't see it being true. Let's take it on face value and say if it was. Would I take Lukaku? Yeah. He's really good. He's not done it for Chelsea, but everywhere else he basically has. I think he's really good. I think he has a lot to give still, even though he's, I think, 30 at this point, so maybe something like that. I think he has a lot to give still. I think he'd probably suit David Moyes to a certain extent. I have always liked Lukaku. I would very, very happily bring him to the club, but it would have to be under the right financial circumstances, and I'm not sure those are true. I mean, they were trying to get a swap deal for Vahalovic, I can never pronounce his name, from Juventus recently, weren't they? So clearly they rate him flipping highly if they think they can get a swap deal like that for him. I don't know. I just can't see this one happening. I think the wages would probably be too high. And at his age, it would be a bit of an iffy one. But he is a great striker. He's big. He's powerful. I love him a lot. I really do like Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, Chelsea isn't his club. He should probably stop going there at this point because it's just not going to happen. But listen, 10th, 24th, and 30th most expensive player in the world for a reason. Moves to Chelsea, Inter Milan, and Manchester United. Great player. Would I take it West Ham? Yes. Do I believe this? Not a chance. Not a chance in hell. But let me know how you feel about that one, about Hugo Ekitike, about Mohammed Kudus, Lingard, about Mavropanos, about Downes. Let me know about all of these in the comments section down below. And hey, if I've missed any of them, let me know. We might do a follow-up thing. Or I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. We've had to wait a long time for West Ham's transfer window to really kick into gear, but we're there now, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you're new around here. Make sure to like the video because it helps us out massively, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos. But until then, come on your irons, enjoy yourselves, and Romelu Lukaku, not happening. Mavropanos, he is though, big. Space Jam it. See you later, everyone. Bye.